Good morning, children. Today we are going to deal with the first lesson from your second book, that is The Alien Hand, and your lesson is A Tiny Teacher. What we are going to do in this video lesson is a complete explanation of the text with exercise, and you will also get a good understanding of the message of the story. Let us go. Before we moving on to the lesson, I would like to show you one video. This tells you the intelligence, the community life. Sometimes it is far better than humans. These little tiny teachers lead. These little tiny teachers are the ants colony that really wonders and exactly an amazing thing to watch. Let us watch that video first. Your first lesson from the book Alien Hands, The Tiny Teacher. Before we come to the text, we can learn a quotation about a teacher and what type of teacher is described in this lesson. Let us check. Look at this quotation on teachers. The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. These tiny teachers are belonging to the third and fourth category of teachers. They are superior teachers. They demonstrate their life before us. And they are the great inspirers for human community to lead a wonderful social life. Now let us move on to the story. Though so very small, the ant is unbelievably intelligent and hardworking. Among the various kinds, the commonest ant is black or red and lives in comfortable homes called ANTHILLS. So this lesson is about ants. Look at the first paragraph. Name the smallest insect you have seen and the wisest. Is it the fly? No, it is not. Is it the mosquito? No, not the mosquito. Then it must be the worm. No, none of these. It is the ant, the commonest, the smallest, and the commonest, the smallest, but the wisest insect. That is the adjectives the writer used to describe the ant. What are the adjectives there? The commonest, the smallest, and the wisest insects on earth. This lesson is about these ants. The story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue. Sounds almost untrue means it seems unbelievable to our senses. Can they become live like that? That is the wonder we will get when we come to know more about these ants and their life. But people have kept ants as pets. But in some parts of the world, people keep ants as pets, like what we do with dogs, cats, and other animals. In some countries, some people keep ants as their pets and have watched their daily behavior closely. So they keep these ants as pets and they watch closely their daily activities. So we know a number of facts about this tiny, hardworking and intelligent creature. Once again, the writer gives some adjectives to describe this ant, that is tiny, hardworking and intelligent creature. Look at the next paragraph. An ant uses its feelers or antenna to talk to other ants by passing messages through them. So how does an ant communicate with another one? It uses its antenna or feelers. When two ants touch their antennas together, they convey messages. This is the way they communicate. Watch a row of ants moving up or down the wall. Like this, the row of ants you can see on the walls of your houses. Watch a row of ants moving up or down the wall. Each ant greets all the others coming from the opposite direction by touching their feelers. This is amazing. When one crosses the row of ants, the one that crosses the entire row, it will go and touch the feelers of others. It wants to convey certain messages to the entire row. That is wonderful to see. If you don't have seen that sight, you must watch, you can see it. When a row of ants are moving on one direction, one is coming on the other direction, the one who comes the other direction goes and touches the feelers of the other ants and conveys messages. Look at the next page. There are many kinds of ants. The commonest among them are the black or red ones. So what are the commonest ants that we see? They are the black or red ones. We have seen them since we were children, but haven't paid enough attention to them. We used to see them when we were children, but we hadn't given much attention to them. Where do they live? In their comfortable homes called nest or anthills. So an ant's house is known as nest or anthills. Commonly, an ant's house is known as anthill or nest. Each has hundreds of little rooms and passages. Each anthill has hundreds of little rooms and passages. In some of these rooms, the queen ant lays eggs. Others are nurseries for the young ones. The young ones are called the grubs. In an anthill, we can see hundreds of little rooms and passages, different passages. In some of these rooms, the queen ant lays eggs, and other rooms are used as nurseries. And the young one of an ant is called grubs. I will show you one video of this ant's hill, this ant's nest. They live in small clusters and in big clusters also. Let us watch one small cluster of ants living in an anthill. Anthill art. Molten aluminum is pouring into the tubes of the anthill after removing all the ants from the anthill. Let us wait what shape we will get out of it. A lot of that melted aluminum is pouring into the anthill. That is what you are watching now. It is done after removing all the ants from its anthill. Not even a single ant is killed. Now see the wonder. The earth around its nest are removing with all around the nest. They remove the earth. Now you can see the anthill in its shape after removing the earth from its centers. They are removing the earth that engulfed in between the roots by spraying water in it. This is the shape. This is the city of ant colony. Workers have reserved quarters. They spend most of their time searching for food. The workers' duty is to collect food for the entire cluster of ants. Some rooms serve as storehouses for this food. So, in the community of ants clusters, in their anthill, some rooms are reserved for storing the food items. Soldiers have a separate barracks. Barracks means the rooms for soldiers. It is known as barracks. Soldiers have separate rooms, separate sections. No worker has ever tried to live in soldier's house. No worker will go to the soldier's barracks or their room. They never trespass their limitations. No soldier has gone out searching for food. In the same way, soldier ants need not go out in search of food. They just guard the entire net hill and its inhabitants there. They are the protective force of the community. No worker or soldier or cleaner has ever harmed a grub. They never harm any grub in the community. Whether it is soldier or worker or cleaner ants, they don't disturb the grubs. So you see, an ant's life is very peaceful. So why do you think an ant's life is so peaceful? Because they never clash each other. They have a separate identity in the community and they accept it and live as accordingly. And they never harm a grub in their community. So they lead a peaceful life. Each does its share of work intelligently and bravely. So each one of the ants does his work very intelligently and bravely. and never fights with other members of the group. That is very important lesson these ants give us. They never fight with other members of the group. We humans sometimes called the most intelligent animals. But are we? We have to think. Because these ants, they never fight among themselves. We humans are not like that. We have to learn a lot more things from these little teachers, these tiny teachers. They never fight for any reason. That is one of the important lessons that we have to learn from these little creatures. Let us move on to the next page. Now it is time for comprehension check. Look at this one. The story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue. The italicized phrase means this slanting words, means highly exaggerated, too remarkable to be true, not based on facts. It means too remarkable to be true. It is almost impossible for us to believe. That is too remarkable to be true. Look at the second one. Complete the following sentences. An ant is the smallest, commonest, and wisest, and hardworking, intelligent. Look at the second one. We know a number of facts about an ant's life because some of us rear them as pets and observe them closely. In this way, we come to know more about the ants. In what ways is an ant's life peaceful? That we have already discussed. You have to write it. Second section of the story. The queen ant has a pair of wings which she casts off before she begins to lay eggs. Eggs hatch and become grubs. Grubs change into cocoons, and the cocoons break to bring forth the complete ants. That is the life cycle of an ant. The life of an ordinary ant in the anthill is a book which many of us seldom open. Look at the second session. The queen is the mother of the entire population of the colony. The queen ant, she is the mother of the entire population of the ant colony, ant community. It lives for about 15 years. This is the lifespan. The lifespan of a queen ant is 15 years. It has a pair of wings. But bites them off. Bites off means to shed. They shed or removed after its wedding flight. So what is this wedding flight? This flight takes place on a hot summer day. The wedding flight that takes place on a hot summer day. The queen leaves the nest and goes out to meet a male ant or drone. A male ant is known as drone. It's a modern word that we use for that flying cameras, drones. And a male ant is also known as drone. High up in the air. So wedding flight means the flight takes place on a hot summer day. The queen ant leaves its nest and goes out to meet a male ant in the air, or a drone. On its return to earth, it gets rid of its wings. Get rid of means to remove. Get rid of means to remove. It gets rid of its wings and then does nothing but lay eggs. So after this wedding flight, the queen ant comes back to the nest and started laying eggs. Look at the next paragraph. Eggs hatch and grubs come out. Then a little time later, these eggs begin to hatch and grubs come out. Grubs means the young one of an ant. The grubs come out. Soldiers guard them. Who is in charge of protecting them? The soldiers in the community. Workers feed and clean them. The workers' job is to feed and clean them, and also carry them about daily for airing, exercise and sunshine. These worker ants take these grubs out for airing. Some exercises they give to them and sunshine. 2 or 3 weeks later, look at this. 2 or 3 weeks later, the grubs become cocoons. This is the life cycle. First, the queen ant lays eggs. It becomes grubs. After 2 or 3 weeks later, these grubs become cocoons and lie without food or activity for 3 weeks more. Then it lie there without food or without any activity 3 weeks more. Then the cocoons break and perfect ants appear. Then these cocoons break open and perfect ants will come out. Now it is time for teaching and training. Once the perfect ants come out, it is the time for giving these newborn ants teachings and trainings. Now ants learn their duties from old ants as workers, soldiers, builders, cleaners, etc. So many categories of works are there. From the elders of the colony, they will learn works. Some want to become workers, some soldiers, some builders, some cleaners. There is no difference between all these categories. All are treated in the same manner. So whichever job they choose, they don't feel any hesitation. They choose as they like. After a few weeks training, the small ants are ready to go out into the big world of work. Then they are given training. As according to their performance, they will be given duties. And after a few weeks training, the small ants are ready to go out into the big world of work. They will start their job in the big world. Look at the next one. An anthill is a home not only for ants but also for some other creatures. In these anthills we can see not only the ants but some other creatures also, like beetles, lesser breeds of ants and the green fly. These are the other insects commonly we can find from an anthill, like beetles, lesser breeds of ants and green fly. Why do ants want these alien creatures? Alien means this foreign. These foreign creatures to live in their nest. Why do they give permission for these foreign creatures to live in their nest? Answer is for several reasons. Some give off smell pleasant to the ant senses. One of the main reasons is these insects give off smell pleasant to the ant senses. Pleasant sense, pleasant smell they will produce that these ants like. So they let them to live there. Look at the next part. Others give sweet juices, and some are just pets. So these are the reasons. One is smell, and another is for juices, and yet another reason as pets. These outside insects are allowed to live in these anthills, just pets or playthings, like cats and dogs to human beings. What we rear as pets, these ants also let some insects live in their nets as pets. The green fly is the ant's cow. So which one is the ant's cow? No doubt it is the green fly. Green fly is the ant's cow. The ants train it to give honeydew like milk. The ants give this green fly training to give honeydew. Honeydews are coming out of this green fly. They come and suck it like milk with a touch of their antenna. When they touch with their antenna, they will get this honey. They milk it just as we milk the cow. What we do with the cows, the same thing the ants do with this green fly. They will milk this green fly and they will get honey dew. Look at the next paragraph. Have humans learned as much as ants have? Have humans learned as much as ants have? Perhaps they have, but they haven't put their learning to good use. Perhaps humans have learned as much as these ants have learned, but the difference is they haven't put their learning to good use. The humans, in most of their situations, they don't use their learnings for their good use. They may still learn a few things from this tiny teacher. So humans can still learn so many things from this tiny teacher. This tiny teacher. Who is this tiny teacher? Ant. Like hard work, sense of duty, discipline, cleanliness, care for the young ones, and above all, a firm loyalty to the land where they live. They are so patriotic, and humans are sometimes not philanthropic. They don't show any love towards their own races. But these ants are very lovable. They are hardworking. Their sense of duty is far excellence than ours. Their discipline in the community, how to lead a community life without any clashes, without any problems, and cleanliness, how to make their surroundings clean and neat, separate places for everything, care for the young ones, how to rear the younger generation, and above all their loyalty to the land, their patriotism towards the territory in which they live. These all are the lessons that we have to learn from these tiny teachers. Now go to the comprehension. Now let us check the comprehension part. How long does it take for a grub to become a complete ant? For a grub to become a complete ant, it takes 5 to 6 weeks. Second question. Why do the worker ants carry the grubs about? Why do they carry for? for airing, exercise, and sunshine. For these three things, the workers carry the grubs away. Look at the third question. What jobs are new ants trained for? All the available jobs like jobs of workers, soldiers, then cleaners, then builders, etc. All these works of workers, builders, soldiers and cleaners are taught to these newborn ants. Question number 4. Name some other creatures that live in anthills. What are the other animals live in an anthill? First, beetle, then green fly, then lesser breeds of ants. These three insects we can see in an anthill other than the ants, like beetles, green fly, lesser breeds of ants. Come to the last question. Mention three things we can learn from the tiny teacher. Give reasons for choosing these items. What are the three things? First, we can learn social life. Each one divides their works equally. Nobody interferes with others' works, like workers, cleaners, helpers and soldiers. All categories are there. It is essential for a good social life. So first thing we can choose social life. Then we can choose hard work. They are always ready to work for the empowerment of the entire colony, the ant colony. That is the thing we can learn from this little teachers, tiny teachers. Then we can learn the third thing is discipline. The disciplined life of the ants is really a revelation for humans. They never interfere in others' life and they never battle for anything. No clashes takes place in their colony. They are lovers of a peaceful life, so they want to lead a pacified life. This also we can copy from the ant colony. Discuss the following topics in groups. First one, what problems are you like to face if you keep ants as pets? So keeping ants as pets creates certain problems with us, especially when if they are the biting ones, they will disturb us. Bodily pains we have to suffer. Then a lot of space we have to give them. Then we can't predict where they go and sit. And sometimes it may eat our edible items that we keep in our house. These are some of the problems we may face. And look at the second question. When a group of bees finds a nectar, it informs other bees of its location, quantity, etc. through dancing. Can you guess what ants communicate to their fellow ants by touching one another's feelers? The ants are coming out from their anthills, especially for searching food. So the ants convey the message of finding the roots and food to other ants. It can also convey the security problems if there are any hurdles on the way. And these are the possible messages that they convey each other. Now look at these questions. First question, what is an young one of an ant called? Second question, what do you mean by wedding flight? Third question, what is the male and non-bi? Fourth question, the home of an ant is called. Fifth question, the home of a snake is called. And the sixth question, the home of a dog is called. And the seventh question, the home of a horse is called. And the eighth question, the home of a lion is called. And the ninth question, the home of a goat is called. And 10th question, the home of an elephant is called. An ant home is ant hill or nest. And the home of a snake is called a hole. Next, the home of a dog is called kennel. And the home of a horse is called stable. And the home of a lion is called a den. The home of a goat is called a pen. And the home of an elephant is called a shed. Elephant shed. Answer these questions also in your notebook and submit to your teacher. Goodbye.